Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about the molecule N-methylpyrrolidine, mostly in a structural sense. We're going to be looking at how the atoms are bonded together and what the bond angles look like. Before we get started, if you look up here at our molecule, you can see these sharp edges which all indicate a assumed carbon, and these also have assumed hydrogens attached, which this is standard notation we use in organic chemistry. If you look at the molecular formula, you can actually match that up with C5H11N, which means 5 carbons, 11 hydrogens, and 1 nitrogen. If you look at the molecular weight, we have 85.15 grams per mole, and then we have 1 degree of unsaturation, which that's actually going to refer to the ring we see in our structure, because one ring indicates 1 degree of unsaturation. And then we have 17 sigma bonds, which each bond between each individual atom, that's going to be a sigma bond. Other than that, we have 0 pi bonds, so we don't have to worry about that in this molecule. But if you go over to the functional group, we actually have a tertiary amine, which is what this 3 degree here means, tertiary. If you look up at our structure, we actually have 3 carbons bonded to this nitrogen. That's what indicates that this is a tertiary amine, because this nitrogen is bonded to 3 individual carbons. The boiling point is 80 to 81 degrees Celsius, and then the physical state of our molecule is liquid at 25 degrees Celsius. If we go down to carbon hybridization, we have 5 sp3 hybridized carbons, which are going to be all the carbons that we have in our molecule, and then we have 0 sp2, so we don't have to worry about that today. But if you look at classifications, you can see that we have 1 CH3. That's actually going to be this carbon right here, which we would call a methyl group whenever it's a CH3. And then we have 4 CH2 carbons right here. Alright, now we're going to get started with building our molecule with the Snatoms kit. If you look at the whiteboard, we have black that designates carbon, blue designates our 1 nitrogen, and then white is going to designate our hydrogens. So the first thing we're going to get started with is building our ring structure, which we're going to have 4 carbons in our ring structure. And remember, our ring is where our 1 degree of unsaturation that I talked about earlier comes from. And these are all connected by sigma bonds. Remember, we don't have any pi bonds. So after we put our 4 carbons together, we're going to have 1 nitrogen at the top, which gets us closer to finishing our tertiary amine functional group. We're going to complete our functional group by adding this last carbon on top. And remember, that's going to have 3 carbons bonded to our nitrogen to create our tertiary amine functional group. And so at the top, this last carbon I added, this is going to have 3 hydrogens bonded to it, which is that methyl group that I referred to earlier. This is a CH3. So whenever 3 hydrogens are bonded to a carbon, we call that a methyl group. The remaining carbons we have in our ring structure, these all have 2 hydrogens. So these are all going to be CH2 all the way around. And again, these carbon to hydrogens are still sigma bonds, no pi bonds present in this molecule. And we're going to put the last 2 hydrogens on, and there is our N-methylpyrrolidine with the Snatoms kit. So appreciate it. Thank you for watching.